Hi all, my name is Amal, Department of Computer Science, St. Albert's College, Autonomous. Today we are going to discuss about the topic data analytics. So we are going to discuss what do you mean by a data and what is big data and what are the current trends and tools used in big data. So as we all know, we are having so many data sources. Data sources means so many data devices, data generation devices. So we are going to have a look on what are these data sources and what are the different type of data, information, as well as current trends in data generation. So what do you mean by data? Everything which is generated by a data source is termed as data. That means images, text, video, and other audio contents, everything that is generated from a data source is termed as data. Here you can see is an example of data. It is numerical values are there, string values are there, Gmail ID, everything is there. All these are termed as data. Then when it comes to a processed data and processed output, we are calling it as information. That is a processed data, processed output is known as an information. How large a data is? We are having so many data sources. Okay, in the previous generation, from the first generation to the current generation computers, we are having so many data sources, and the data generation speed and data size is varying in a tremendous manner. So, what are the maximum file size you have gone through at this time? Second one, what is the maximum download speed you go during this time? Third point is how fast your computation is. These are the key points we have to deal with right now. So just have a look in the table. Currently, the most of the data generated in this era is from sensors. Cellular sensors are there, thermal sensors are there. So many sensors are available in data sources category right now. Coming to growth of data. As you can see in this representation, data generation is 44 times higher than the previous generation right now. At the beginning of the time, there were terabytes of data, then petabytes, exabytes, now it's zettabytes of data. There are so many key players, so many IT companies are right now, they are only dealing with this kind of data generation, data storage, and data manipulation. Coming to sources of data. As I mentioned, we are having 2.5 quintillion bytes of data generated right now. How we are going to process this data? This is the main aspect when it comes to data analytics. The data, as I mentioned earlier, we are having so many data sources. We are having so many sensors, social media sites, video generation sites, and video generation devices, thermal sensors, everything is there, placed all of it. So, let's have a look on the examples. We are having social media sites. We are having Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, everything is there. We are generating huge amount of data every seconds. Then we are having so many sensors placed all over the world. From the sensors placed in thermal power plants, from the roads, from the satellites, everything we are generating huge amount of data in every seconds. And coming to mobile devices, we are tracking all the devices at a particular interval of time. As we are now all familiar with GPS maps, everything is there. So many applications are. All these apps are generating huge amount of data in particular second. Coming to sensor technology networks, we are having so many sensor network right now. We are monitoring our agriculture, we are monitoring our climates, we are monitoring our oceans. Each seconds we are generating huge amount of data. Now, how we are going to deal with such a huge amount of data? Here it comes big data. Big data actually we are calling data as big data, and actually it's a entire framework. Big data is the data plus entire framework and entire tools and techniques used to process data. So in a single definition, big data is similar to smaller data, but it comprises with all the framework, all the tools used for processing data. Coming to big data, we are categorizing data into three V's. Especially it's a big data. We are categorizing into three V's. First one is variety. Second one is velocity. Third one is volume. we are categorizing big data into three categories. And how and why we classify data into three categories? As I mentioned earlier, we are getting huge volume of data each second. That's why we call it as volume. And we are having huge variety of data. There are so many devices, data generation devices are there. There are video cameras, CCTV cameras placed in everywhere in the city, and we are having so many sensors. We are having so many data generation devices are there. So huge variety of data is there. Coming to velocity, we are receiving data in a per second basis, per nanosecond basis. That's the main reason we categorize we are telling big data as a huge velocity data. Coming to V4, V3 for volume. Coming to volume, we have huge volume of data. As you can see in the graph, from the first generation to the current generation computers, we are generating data in a huge volume manner. Why so? We are having high definition cameras right now. Each cameras are generating per second volume basis data. Secondly, there is variety. We are having so many data generation devices. All these devices are generating huge variety of data. We are having audio, we are having text messages, we are having video contents, we are having other document formats. So all these are huge variety of data. We have to use separate tools and techniques to manage such data. Then come to velocity. As I mentioned earlier, there are so many sensors placed on our network, distributed network. All these sensors are generating data in a per second basis. Currently, the studies show that we are getting data, huge amount of data in a nanosecond itself. So, when we are dealing with velocity, we are having so many sensitive processes dealing with it. Why? Because sometimes we need immediate information from this data processing technique. For example, if there is a climatic change, we need to get the processed information in a particular second. So every second is valuable in processing this huge variety of data. Then coming to big data vs small data. Here you can see in this graph, here this one is the business value and second one is complexity. Here you can see the predictive analytics and data mining. And second one is business intelligence. So let's have a look. When we are dealing with business intelligence, you can see ad hoc querying and reporting is mandatory. When we are using business intelligence, there may be some personal interest of particular business. There may be some interest on dictating the customer behavior in a particular season. There may be some personal interest for the business owner on dictating their sales in upcoming future. For everything, we are going to deal it with business intelligence. So we have to use various data mining techniques, structured data, and we have to deal with data sets. One scenario, if we are dealing with a particular scenario, if you are having an e-commerce website, for example, we consider abc.com, we have to study the upcoming future of the current buying behavior. If a particular set of persons are buying a particular product, for example, bread, in a particular season, they may not be buying that particular bread in a season. So we have to analyze and study the current trends in a buying behavior. This one is the own factor in business intelligence. Then come predictive analytics and data mining. You have so many data analytics tools when it comes to predictive analytics and data mining. First one is optimization and predictive analytics. We are having so many queries on getting results by using predictive analytics methodology. So we are having so many tools for that too. And coming to complex statistical analysis and various data and sources and data sets. Most important thing is we have to analyze data in real time. So most of the applications and most of the scenarios based in big data is we have to process it and get the output in real time. For that, we are using stream-based big data processing methodologies. One scenario, if there is a hurricane in the ocean, we have to track the location, track the path of that particular hurricane in a real-time manner. Then only we can warn our citizens. This one is the real-time scenario. If our predictive methodologies and predictive tools are very slow, we cannot warn our citizens in a prior manner. So we have to make more efficient system which can deal with variety of data, volume of data, and velocity of data. So let's have a look on various tools used in big data. Before that, we have to deal with big data and small data. You can see here small data, which is the regular data which is available from various data sources, as well as big data which is available from various data sources. In order to store big data, we have to maintain various data warehouses. Then only we can store huge and wide velocity of data. Coming to the challenges ahead. First one is the bottleneck of the technologies. It is the various algorithms, various methodologies used now will produce bottlenecks in some scenarios. This one is the major challenge we are facing right now. Because when we are streaming a particular data, we are processing a stream data, there may be some disadvantages in streaming and getting information in a particular real-time system. Second one is technical skills. We need to improve the adequate technical skills to improve the data processing methodologies and tools efficiency. And who are the major players? As you can see in the slide, there are so many applications, so many brands are there, so many companies are there, so many tools are mapped. You can see this much of companies are taking so much effort in developing big data processing tool. This shows the huge chance of data analytics in the upcoming future. Right now, we are mainly focusing on sensor data processing. In the upcoming future, there may be AI embedded data processing methodologies to find the future of a particular citizen. Their buying behavior, their expense, their sales, upcoming forecasting, everything will be based on data processing in the upcoming future. So, if there is a business owner, he can predict his annual profit in the upcoming future. Coming to the more players. Okay, we are having so many big data processing companies, tools, and techniques are there. And these are the major players in big data. First one is Google. They are having so many big data processing methodologies, techniques, as well as they are having data warehouses too. Coming to Hadoop. Hadoop is a data processing, big data processing tool which is used for map reducing a particular big data to generate information. And coming to Mahout and Apache HBase, Cassandra, everything, all these are the major tools and techniques used in big data processing right now. And coming to the various tools available, we are having so many frameworks, as I mentioned earlier, we are having so many tools also. First one is NoSQL. So many data processing softwares. First of all, MongoDB, CouchDB, Cassandra, everything, all these are supporting NoSQL query system. Coming to MapReduce. MapReduce is a methodology where we can generate parameters from a particular big data, and based on that parameter, we can reduce it into particular information. And most often, we are using MapReduce technique to a predictive model. We have to predict hurricane. In that particular scenario, we can use MapReduce technique. And storage. We are having huge volume of data. We have to store it efficiently and we have to read it efficiently. For both purposes, we are using storage methodologies. One of the major examples is HDFs, Hadoop Distributed File System. And coming to surveys. So many surveys are available the way EC2. EC2 is one of the major server provided by AWS, Amazon Web Service. And coming to Google App Engine, like that, so many big players are there which provide data warehousing and data processing service. And coming to processing, there are so many data processing techniques and frameworks are there, which is also provided by the major big data processing and data processing companies. Coming to the end, I would like to say big data processing and big data analytics, big data storing is the major research area in the upcoming future. Thank you.